Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r slash Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, how IT got a server room. Please just use the ticket system. No time for remote support. Customer doesn't understand who the United States is. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. How IT got a server room. Gather round, young ones, while I tell you a tale. This harkens back to the days when dial-up internet was your only option, home computers were sold in cow-themed boxes, and Computer Shopper was a magazine so thick it could be used for home defense. A little background to get us started. Shortly after I started in IT in 1993, our department was moved from inside the hospital to a building about 2 blocks away. It was to be a temporary move, that would only last 18 months. 8 years later, we moved back inside the hospital. Here is our story of how that happened. It was a known complaint that we needed to be inside the hospital, since that is where all of the users were. But here we were, walking 2 blocks in the wind, rain, snow, and ice to service printers, replace dumb terminals, and troubleshoot network issues. At the time, 95% of our system was a mainframe in another city, and we were just client devices off of the mainframe. We had a few small 3 to 5 user Novell networks, but nothing too big. As time passed, we started seeing more and more PCs rather than dumb terminals. Finally, a decision was made that we needed to consolidate the growing Novell networks into one system. As 250 users single server. I was now working days and was made our site admin for this project, and would be given all the training I could handle. Our main financial and patient systems were still mainframe, but we used terminal emulation software on the PCs to access these. 2 things led to our move back to the hospital. The first was by design. My design, from my dark evil lair. We were migrating to a new Office suite. As part of this, we required that everyone go through training, since we would be moving from text-based mainframe email to $lookout email. We spent 6 months running all of the staff through classes in our crappy building. Heat and cooling were inadequate in our building due to the age, and the fact that it was chopped up and walls moved with no planning for HVAC zones. I had complained multiple times to our administration, but we were not a priority. Since we weren't, they weren't. I planned them last in the migration to the new Office suite. I scheduled them for 2-hour afternoon class. In August. In a training room that faced the west side of the building. Temperatures on the desktop in that room consistently reached around 100 to 105 degrees by 2 o'clock. When the class was over, and our senior leadership team was drenched in sweat, and had a whole new understanding of our complaints about the building. Yes, I am evil. I know this, and now they do. I also scheduled them for various classes in the same room for morning in the winter months. You could almost see your breath in the room. Too bad they cowdle not type with their gloves on. The final event that helped us move back into the main building was out of our control, but we made some sweet lemonade out of lemons. Since this was an old building, and we were leasing space, we did not have generator power in this building. We relied on UPS units to maintain power on our file servers that housed our local applications, including our terminal emulation software. Payroll was run every 2 weeks on a Monday. Payroll was managed on the mainframe, which required terminal emulation software. Power company had a multiple zone power outage that just so happened to land on a Monday. A payroll Monday. I watched as the last LED on the UPS for the file server slowly faded away. It was dark in the room where the servers were. It was also eerily quiet. Then the phone rings. Payroll clerks were complaining. Sorry, out of my control. Executives call, what can we do? Buy a time machine, go back, and listen when we said that this was a setup doomed to failure? Best advice I could give was to stick payroll staff in any office in the hospital where someone was on vacation and hope for fast data entry. The next week, it was announced that we would start renovating an area for a server room in the main hospital that included generator power. Patience is a virtue. Please just use the ticket system. I don't know why, but there are 3 people out of 65 employees who just won't use the ticket system. They complain and moan constantly when something is wrong but only send emails to me or to my employees. Trying to force them, we decided that we will open the ticket for them, and then only communicate through the ticket system. This hasn't really worked out because they complain to everyone under the sun that we don't help them even if you can clearly follow the ticket that we did. Until this week. Wednesday, we scheduled an upgrade of one of their computers to Windows 10. We are slowly rolling it out, getting the old PCs out of 7. And we replaced hers and did what we normally do to get it up and running, but we missed a little step in the FTP programs. This person sends files to a vendor, and instead of using binary, they like the file to be in ASCII. Not a big deal, it's one little setting, and we can make it work. You just add the file ext into the exceptions setting, and it's good to go. The only problem is, we didn't know because when the problem was originally found 5 years ago when we first started working with the vendor, it wasn't added to the tickets system. Anyway, we found the problem right away and fixed it. I opened the ticket and then clearly wrote out what I did to fix it. The last line of the ticket response was that employee can transfer files again. Then, it being a holiday weekend, I left an hour early and headed for an out-of-town dinner with the family. Wednesday, about 30 minutes after I left, I get an email asking, "Can I transfer again?" I'm in the car driving for a destination 4 hours away, so I'm not checking my emails. 30 minutes after that, when we're closing, I get a more dramatic email. I need to know if I can transfer because I can't leave until I can transfer these files. 15 minutes later, a more frantic email. If I don't transfer, I can't do my job. Let me know if I can transfer again. It went that way, with the employee getting more and more upset and adding more people to the email group, letting everyone know that I'm not doing my job because she doesn't know if she can transfer or not. Finally, she gets upset and goes home without doing her job. This morning, my boss and her boss meet me in my office because her not transferring those files has caused a problem, and they want to know why I couldn't help her on Wednesday. I, of course, have seen the emails by now, but had ignored them. After being berated by her for not having the decency to tell her she could do her job, and then my boss explaining that communication is the key and we need to keep our employees informed of what we do, I reach into the top of my desk and pull out a printed copy of the ticket and hand it to them with the date and time of the ticket circled, showing 3 p.m. on Wednesday, and the part where I said you can transfer again. She stammered that she did not see that, and that's when my boss said, "Communication goes both ways. If he says something, you've got to listen." She tried to say that she doesn't really use the ticket system, and that she would prefer an email, but her boss and my boss both told her that she's not the only employee I help support, and that she needs to use all forms open before trying to blame someone else for not doing her job. It was glorious. No time for remote support. I'm a help desk engineer for a small MSP. Most of our clients are small legal or accounting firms. If there is one thing I've learned about legal firms in my 4 years, is that office managers often lose it if they are not driven out by abusive attorneys first. So this F*King OM calls in, pissed off and out of time. "OM, hi, I want to courier my iPad to you guys to fix today." Me, okay. What's wrong with it? OM, it's completely locked up and I can't do anything. Me, okay, well, we probably don't need to courier that. Just hold the power and the home buttons down for. OM, listen, I really don't have time for you to walk me through anything. I'm just going to courier it, okay? Me, okay, that's fine, I guess. Probably won't get it back till the end of day. OM, that's fine, I'll send someone at 5. It took 3 hours for the iPad to arrive. I held the power and home button down to restart it. 5 seconds done. She didn't do round trip on the courier, so I had to wait till 5 for someone to pick it up again. It took 5 hours to complete a 2-second fix. I can't deal with these people much longer. Customer doesn't understand who the United States is. I had a call years ago when I worked Tier 1 for a cell phone provider. Lady calls in furious and screaming about her phone not working properly. I ask her, what's the problem with the phone? She says, I got international charges on my bill for using my phone in Canada. I say, ma'am, there's no problem with the phone. Canada is a different country, so international charges would be valid. She screams, Canada is part of the United States. I respond, ma'am, it's not. It's a separate country from the US. She yells, since when? I literally say, I don't know how to answer that. Since 1776, I think? I said that because I don't know when Canada became a country. She says, but you can see it from Michigan. I can go to my summer house and look at Canada from my deck. I say, ma'am, the phone is working and the charges are valid. You'll have to take this up with retention or billing. She hangs up while I'm still baffled.